And we're live.
Good evening, everyone. It's nice to see you. The eagle-eyed amongst us will have noticed already that we're one member down, but we'll soldier on without him this week. I'm sure he'll be back next week, so enjoy night call. But again, welcome to the regular crew. Got Glynn operating the sound and everything. Hello, we've got Christina having a balanced everything. Or as I would have put after last Saturday, if anybody knows, it's Christmas.
I've been called worse over the years. It's all good.
Yeah, well, this is a clean show, isn't it? Really. Yeah, thank you, predictive text, and also great welcome to Graeme. So,
hi.
Going to provide some really interesting analysis for sure tonight. So, what are we going to talk about? It's the clue is at the bottom of the screen here. Basically, investigation analysis. Now, if you watched last week, we mentioned some photographs that we took in previous house investigations. We didn't have time to go through some of the other photographs or audios we took. So this week we thought we'd share that with you. So please feel free to interact with us. Any comments you do, we will flag them up straight away. So I think it's nice for us to interact with you, as well as putting our own points of view across. So I think that's also last weekend. Glynn and Christina went on an investigation themselves. They caught some interesting footage, so we're going to go through that. Really, if you've got any comments, please ask away, and we'll do our best to answer you. So, I think without further ado, this show couldn't actually happen without Glynn, with his marvelous touch and expertise.
You're welcome.
We're in trouble, then, aren't we? Let's start with, Glenn. Would you like to start with that investigation from last weekend, or shall we start in with the previous
Can we start with the Skidbrook investigation that we did, the church?
Absolutely, of course you can.
Impromptu one. So yes. What I'll do is I'll just flag something up on screen. Lets me do it. There we go. And I'll just put this up. Here we go. So what this is a screen capture from our live video that we did from the Skidbrook Church in Lincolnshire. And I was reviewing it later, you know, for audibles and things like that, different sort of anomalies. And obviously that's my shiner. That's my head there, and that's you there. And this is a screen capture, as I said. But what interested me about it is this little area here that just came out of nowhere. Yeah. And so what I did is I zoomed into that, as I always do, and I screen captured it a little bit more. And so I found that really interesting because you've got a white square like orb. But this took my attention because there's a little face in there. Yeah. And I think I zoomed in a little bit more so you can see it in a bit more detail. And that was going off behind us without us realising. And so I just found that really interesting that after the live feed, like I say, it just pays to go through your footage and just be on the ball with it, basically, you know, because you never know what you're going to find. But these features in here that just blew me away. I mean, they're not the clearest, as you can see, but you can see that suggestion there of features.
Nose, side profile of a cheek, an eye. Absolutely.
What I'm going to do later is I've just taken a screenshot of that, and I'm going to go on my iPad and kind of fill in where the face should be.
Oh, interesting. Well, I can send you the originals over if you prefer.
I'll try this one first.
Okay.
Before I ask for the original, and I'll try. What I'll do is I'll trace around where the face. We'll see if I can pick anything out, because I know I can. You've got the eyes, you've got the bridge of the nose, and you've got the mouth.
That's right. Yeah.
You know, and I've got the cheek just at the left-hand side. Yeah.
You can, yeah.
Yeah, and a little bit on the right-hand side as well.
That's right.
I found it interesting as well, the fact there's a square orb there just below it.
Oh.
Now, I think me and Glenn's encountered one of these before on a previous private investigation, if you remember, Glynn, at that secret location.
Yes, very secret.
Yeah, and so to see this alongside a circular orb, you know, I mean, what is that all about? I've never seen the two together. It's either one or the other.
It's interesting, though, isn't it?
It is, isn't it?
But I'll go back to the original photo, just so you can see. I mean, it's tiny, so it just shows how sort of mindful you've got to be when you're reviewing your footage. Yeah. You know, don't discount anything.
Man, I'm just looking at that big dot on your right hand side when you said that's your shiner. It actually looks like the Phantom of the Opera.
I'm a monster. It's either that or Orville. I'm shy.
Yeah. Please don't go into a rendition of music of the night, though, mate. So,
no, I'll spare you from that torture.
Phantom of the Opera. Yeah. Start singing Phantom of the Opera to her.
Oh, just had a comment coming in from Megan.
Oh, let's get it up.
Evening, everybody. She's put. I think she's on about. It's not the same. She's all without me. No, it never is.
No, it isn't.
No.
We look forward
you're the
to
unofficial. Yeah, you're like the Beatles had a fifth member. I think you're the sixth member of this group, Megan. It's not the same without you.
Definitely.
No, never is. Never is.
So I will go on to any other comments on these captures before I move on.
I think whereabouts, the only thing I'm just thinking on a scientific point of view here.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, can you roughly remember where this was taken? Was the alcove when we were stood? Was this in the middle of the church where we stood towards the alcove?
Well, let's see if we can see any sort of clues. There's a suggestion there, isn't there, of some sort of.
Yeah, because I'm not sure if I don't think it off the top of my head there. If there wasn't like a motion sensor.
Oh, okay, that's worth noting, actually.
No, which would explain the white dot, the real circular one.
It would actually, yeah.
But it wouldn't explain the second one above it. If that was like a motion sensor that was going off in the red, like a red dot.
Yeah.
At the top there, that might explain that one.
Because it would come up red if it was a red dot. Or...
Yeah, it's a negative though, isn't it?
Even though if it was a negative, it would come out the dark colour.
Yeah.
It wouldn't explain the features though, would it, on that one? Maybe for the square one.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I was thinking.
Definitely a capture, isn't it?
Yeah. There's something above that the bigger one is definitely a capture there. It might not be, but I'm just trying to think.
But actually, now you've said that, as I'm looking up, there is sort of, it looks like a box shape or some sort of shape above it there. But could that be I can't tell in this lighting.
No.
Yeah, it's a good Good point that is, Glynn, actually.
I mean, if it is a projection of a security light in any way, or a security like camera light or what have you,
Yeah.
it's possible. But what I keep feeling is it was used in a manner to amplify the image of the spirit that you captured. So it could quite possibly be something that's quite easily explainable, you know, with it being perhaps a light of some manner. But I almost feel like the fact that the face was so close to it was almost, I almost feel like it was used to amplify so that you could capture it in the first place. Because it's awfully close, isn't it?
Yeah, you mean like taking the energy to build up?
That's right, yeah, because it's awfully close, and I can't shift that feeling that that's what's happened. They've used it to actually amplify the vision so that you can actually capture it. Because it's definitely a face, so it's definitely a spirit, and it wouldn't necessarily be that close to something that wasn't another spirit unless it chose to be. Yeah. So perhaps in some way it was using that light to sort of amplify, if you know what I mean, like a reflection, so it showed up.
Yeah.
Well, the only other way to look at it is to get it on your gallery on your phone and turn the lighting up a little bit and see what's behind it.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point.
That's true.
To discount that.
Yeah, make the lights, make the image lighter by the phone app.
Yeah. I mean, if you're still struggling with that, Glenn, I know Matt's got the equipment to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I've got the facilities here as well.
Yeah.
I've got Photoshop and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's worth putting in that actually. Now you've said that, Graeme, and so we can discount that.
Yeah, it will.
Excellent. Well, I'll move on to the next set of photos, and I believe it's from the same.
Yeah, that same place. Yeah.
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 And I remember spotting this just here, and I think I sent it you, Glynn, didn't I?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
And that fascinated me, that there was this just pure white light from nowhere, and it was pitch black in there at the time. But what Glynn spotted, which I didn't realize at the time,
I can see it now because I know where it is.
Yeah, Glynn says, I know we walked along there and I don't recall there being a red floor at all. And he says, that looks like there's a red carpet down there. And it was all like, it was all hardcore, wasn't it? It was like...
It was hardcore and rubble.
Yeah.
And dust.
And there's definitely a darkening, isn't there, at the back?
So it looks like a carpet of some kind, like they would have had in a church.
Isn't it?
And that was an amazing spot by Glynn.
Mm.
I think I've just zoomed into it a little there on this one. So I'll try and get in a bit further.
Oh, hang on a sec. Oh, to me that looks like an angel. As you moved it, I can see arms folded and kind of like a wing behind it and a face looking down.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Oh, I can see a face here.
Yeah. There's a face there, just below it where your cursor is.
Yeah.
There's an arm, and it looks like the arms are bent forward. There's a wing behind, and it looks like it's looking down, sort of like protecting.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, I just spotted it when you zoomed. I thought, oh.
Are you on about the white light, Christina?
Sorry?
Are you on about the white light?
No, it's actually above the white light.
Yeah, I've got that.
Not the white light at all. Yeah. Just above the that's the arm.
The arm.
It's like yeah. And then the face is directly above it, exactly where the cursor is there. Yeah, absolutely. And then the wings come off exactly where you're going, Glenn.
Yeah.
Absolutely, you spotted it. Yeah.
The face, though, it looks a bit sinister to me. It looks like a bit skeleton-ish, you know, with the deep eye sockets and the.
It does look quite skeleton-ish like, but saying that, actually looking at it I've just looked at it differently. if you look at it in a different perspective, actually, it doesn't look that sinister at all. It looks like it's got flowing hair behind it.
Oh yeah, just here,
yeah.
I can see
It's
that
like
now,
flowing hair.
Comes to about there, doesn't it?
But it does, yeah. But obviously, angels come within our own perception as well of those. So if we sensed an angel around us, that we would perceive them in the manner that we would like to perceive them. But quite clearly, we could have captured the energy, the spirit of the angel itself, which would look different to you or I necessarily.
Yeah.
It's definitely protecting. It looks like it's looking down and protecting what would be that red carpet area. But I feel like that's where sort of like the altar would be, the sacred part where all the services were made. So perhaps it's protecting the front half of the church where all the services would be and where the clergymen. I'm pretty sure we're
you can see
down.
wings.
Yeah.
Wow, look
That's
at those.
right, yeah. It's just when you zoomed, I thought, oh wow.
But yeah, if I remember rightly, I think was it under there?
Yeah.
No. Was that the bell tower? I think that where the bell tower? Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I nearly fell down, if you remember right.
Yeah.
Because you'd got the torch and I got nothing. If you remember right.
Yes, yeah. So
that angel's definitely protecting.
I didn't spot the angel, so that was a good spot there, Christina. I mean, I was just focusing on the light, but now you've mentioned it, I can't unsee it.
Yeah, exactly. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, can you? It gets clearer the more you look at it. Absolutely.
Did you not see like any gargoyles that you would normally see around church or like a?
Not in the inside. It was just like a bare bones church. I mean, when we was doing the live feed, there was, I think we shown it on the live feed. There was like a tombstone with like a monk or something on there, like inscribed.
Right.
But yeah, I don't remember any gargoyles inside. And so
I think to be fair, if it was a structural gargoyle sort of stone, it would have a different structure to that anyway.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. It'd be more solid, wouldn't it? Even.
Yeah.
Right here. So now we're moving on to the investigation where Christina and myself went last weekend, and this was in Ian, however you say it. I can never say it.
Ian.
And before we did the live feeds, what I always like to do is just take some still photographs, and so these were taken before the live feeds we did. But what we found fascinating with this one is there's a spirit man just here stood looking at a grave.
Yeah.
And you can see his features there. Let me zoom in. There he is. His hands there. Look.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks like he's got his focus fixed on a gravestone. Almost looks now, I know I've zoomed in, like he's got a beard, a mustache and a beard.
It does, doesn't it? It absolutely
I never noticed that before.
Yeah. He's looking at that grave there, isn't he?
Yeah. And at the time when I took the photo, hello, we've got some delay here. I can hear it. Yeah, there was nothing when I took the photo, and it was only reviewing it the day after. I found this. So
was this just shortly before we started the live? We walked down the path towards the bench. It was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, if you remember, we did feel the presence of spirits right then and there, because we apologised, didn't we?
Yeah.
Before we started the live, we apologised and made sure that we wasn't interfering, and we was particularly careful with taking photographs in that area. So we knew it was there because we were very, very mindful, weren't we? And very, very respectful, especially at that particular moment. And at one point, I remember we actually took 2 steps to the right. Just after you took this photograph, we actually both, without speaking a word to each other, we both moved 2 steps to the right away. If you can remember, before we started walking down the path, we started the live, and then we both just moved 2 steps to the right without saying any reasoning for why, and then we carried on. Then we started walking down the path. So I think in some sense we knew he was there, but we were trying not to invade his space. So we moved.
Actually, now you've said that, I remember we was having a conversation before we went live, and I felt the chill, the spiritual chills.
Yeah, that's
so there was a man behind me.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this would make sense.
Yeah.
What does everybody else think about this one?
Yeah, that one's good. Yeah, you can see the image. You can see this head, the shapes. Yeah, that one's good. I know Mandy said she messaged Christina and said she saw something else on one of them. Was it this one, Christina?
She saw a child. Yeah, she saw a child, didn't she?
Yeah.
With the lady in the other capture.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got that photograph on this slideshow as well.
Yeah.
I think looking at that, what might be interesting is if you went there and took the photograph. That grave, I'm doing it again, so I'm pointing at the screen and nobody can. That's there. It might be interesting just to go, and also the nearest one to the camera.
Yeah.
That one.
This one,
Yeah.
It might be interesting just to see the grave that you think you may be looking at, which will be for me the third one along, the tallest one. So if you can use your cursor.
That one.
That one, yeah. It looks to me that the spirit's looking at that one. Might be interesting to say who was actually buried in there.
It could well
if it says
be
a name,
family.
Yeah, if it says a name on it, you might possibly even get a name if you went back there.
There's also a grave just along the side of it.
Yeah.
There.
Not that one.
There, just there.
Not that one. There's one in between. That one.
That one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so he could be looking at that as well.
Yeah.
I feel like he was looking at all of them. I feel like they're all connected. It would be interesting, wouldn't it?
Might be interesting just to go there and see from a scientific point of view if there are similar names or whatever. If it's a family area.
Absolutely.
It's definitely worth another visit for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right, so I'll get the next one up. That's just a zoom in of that previous one. Yeah, this was just again before we went live, and there was no flies or anything like that.
Yeah,
because it was very dark, and we managed to capture this. I don't know what you would call that, like an energy rod. Would you call that?
Yeah.
But I remember going to this location about probably 15, 16 years ago, and I captured things like this there then, from using a different camera. But there was a lot of these then, and there was some in the colour of red and orange last time I was there.
Yeah, that's an interesting catch, that is. It's like a searchlight, isn't it? If you like.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, it is.
But it was pitch black, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah.
It was pitch black. Absolutely, it was. There were no lights around anywhere.
I mean, the way I'm looking at it is obviously when you've taken the picture, an orb it's come down, and with the exposure on your mobile, it's made that streak.
Okay. So it's managed to capture it.
Yeah.
Like a slow fill.
Yes.
What do you call it? Slow exposure sort of thing.
Yeah. And when the orbs come down, it's just continued to move, and it's caught that on your mobile.
But it does look different colours though, even now looking at it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The one at the bottom looks kind of green, and the one above it is sort of like an orangey colour again.
Yeah, orangey red.
That's right.
And I think, if I remember rightly, this wasn't too far away from that other capture.
It wasn't, no.
So that gentleman was captured over there. Let me get my cursor. It's captured over there.
That's right. And we
this
were
is just the edge.
further around the path, wasn't we? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where we were walking. The path is right there.
And I'll just move on to the next one, which is, again, I find this fascinating. I think this is a similar location.
Yeah, it's just a bit further along, isn't it?
Yeah. And as you can see that it has movement.
It does.
There was no flies or moths or anything like that around at the time.
Nothing at all.
And this photo hasn't been enhanced or anything. I've just basically took it
as it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it as it is.
If I remember right, I think the flash went off on my phone when I took it. And that was it. Just the flash went off.
But that flash wouldn't move in that way. And at the angle as well, would it? No. But I think if I remember right, at this point, it was before we went further down the path towards the bench, and it was where the energy was building up, and it was almost electric, the energy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And the further along we got, and that was at the point where we both said, "Oh, the energy is absolutely amazing right here," and then we carried on going down the path, didn't we? So it's amazing that we've captured the energy essence with the photograph.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the energy it was amazing, wasn't it? It was beautiful.
Yeah. It's very peaceful in there.
Oh, it was wonderful, wasn't it? It was so serene and calm. I could have stayed there all night. The energy was that beautiful. It was lovely, so peaceful.
Yeah.
I mean, compared to some of the other locations we went to in Eam, there was some weird energies kicking about.
There was, wasn't there? But it was beautiful.
It's a good shot, that is, Glynn.
It is.
Thank you. And again, I didn't realise I'd captured it until the day after, just reviewing it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the next photograph, and I think this is the one that Mandy was referring to.
This is what Mandy's on about. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, around here.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a capture of a lady, and like Mandy said to me, if you look next to it, you can see a smaller figure, like a girl.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I'm going to zoom in. I can see more faces.
Yeah, that's right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, actually, yeah.
And they're all looking at this lady. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah. Crikey, it's more than we thought. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Didn't realise.
No, I didn't. I could see the other girl when I had a quick glance at the day when Mandy said, "Can I see a girl?" I said, "Oh yeah," but zooming in even more, you absolutely can.
Yeah.
She looks like she's got her hair tied up on a top knot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. But that looks almost 60s, doesn't it? That's almost like a 60s style.
The hairstyle does, but I'm just seeing.
Yeah.
Is that a long dress to you? It looks like a long.
Oh yeah.
A long
Oh,
gown.
actually, it's not a top knot. It's a hood. I can just see it.
Okay.
It's a long coat, like a coat, long old-fashioned coat with a hood on. It's the hood,
like
and we can see the we can see the brim, which is slightly lighter, so it isn't a hair at all. It's the hood, and then the brim, like almost looks a bit fur lined, although I don't feel it was fur, but it's lighter. Yeah, and then you can see like it's a full length coat. Very, very old fashioned, actually, this. And she looks like she's got dark hair. And you can just see the top of the dark hair, and it's kind of sort of done in sort of like that into the hood. And she's looking down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I just jump in here a second?
Of course.
If you don't mind. The reason I say this is because we've had a couple of comments come in from Susie.
Let me put them up on screen.
Please don't put what Megan's put, because it's a family show. She's put a second text, bless
her. Okay, which one am I going? The Facebook user.
The Facebook user, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this looks like a travelling orb again. That was the shot with your cemetery.
Okay.
Underneath it, Megan's just put, I'm watching this as I'm painting. So I've got a feeling I'm going to get some captures tonight.
Oh, yes, because we explained about the decorating, didn't we?
Yeah, so if you do, Megan, share it with us, will you, please? We'll be really fascinated to see that. Yeah, but also Susie's message back in. So what's the significance of colour in orbs? So I thought that's interesting. Yeah, I thought maybe we just focus on that for a second, and we'll go back to this photograph.
Yeah.
I don't know what other people think. Absolutely.
What I personally feel with that, I feel the significance and the different colours of the orbs are where they are on their spiritual journey once they've passed over. I feel like a very freshly person that's not long, quite recently passed over, would have a darker, denser orb than, say, someone that's been passed for a very long time. Because obviously, as we know, they have the spiritual teaching once they've passed over, and they review the whole life. So they continue to spiritually develop even when they've passed over. So someone that's newly sort of passed over, they wouldn't have all that teaching. So their orb would be sort of a denser colour, because it's sort of like a base, sort of like chakras within the body. The base chakras, the red one, and obviously they change as they go up. I almost feel like as someone's been passed over longer and their soul's evolving, it's going to reflect a different colour, almost like an aura. Like, we all have our own auras and different colours.
Like the red and orange, it's just one colour, so it's representing healing, safety, security, offering comfort, bring strength and courage.
That's right.
So the teacher look at all of you.
Yeah. So I do feel that. Yeah, as we all have our own particular aura colour that we carry, and that can change as our spiritual journey progresses. That will change as well. I feel that that's the same with the colour of orbs. A very bright white orb would be, I would say, with my personal feeling and beliefs, that person's been passed over for a very long time, and they wouldn't necessarily have to show themselves in orb form, but would perhaps choose to for a capture. But I would say the darker colour ones were ones that were perhaps were newer than, say, a lighter colour.
In a way, I know this sounds crazy, but it's a bit like judo. The different coloured belts that you get in judo.
Different gradings,
Yeah, it tells you how far you progressed.
Yeah. Exactly, Glenn. Yeah, that's exactly how I feel as well. It's like it graduates, and as they graduate, it gets lighter. So it's kind of in reverse with judo, because obviously they start light and get dark.
They do.
Well, obviously with a spirit, it's going to get lighter the longer it's spirit, because it can evolve that bit more. So along its journey, its teaching, it will change and get progressively lighter the longer that they're in the spirit world.
I'm just going to go here that just search for like on the colour of orbs. Clear orbs. It's thought to be a sign that spirit is trying to communicate with you. You've got the white and silver, which is positive energies that offer strength, protection. White or silver, in fact, your guardian angel, guardian or archangel. But black or brown orb can be interpreted as a sign of danger.
Oh, you're welcome. Bless her. She's just thanked us for
yeah, that's great. No problem.
Perhaps with the area of the photo was taken as negative or unsafe. The red and orange showing that it's a sign of safety and security. Healing energy brings strength and courage. The blue orb, and maybe a spirit guide offering you spiritual guidance and protection. But the green, which is a healing orb or spirits, associated with love, respect for nature. And we've got two more. We've got a yellow. It's thought to represent caution. So pay attention to what you're doing when you're looking around. It could be a warning from the angels. And purple is known as orbs of information. As purple is a very spiritual color, the entity could be speaking spiritual guidance or prompting you to consider spirituality in your own life.
I think with that we're talking spiritual signs as opposed to orbs in itself. Because obviously we can get warnings and guidance.
Of course you can.
With or without orbs anyway, can't we?
Of course you can.
And obviously with those colours you're also kind of talking chakras as well, which is, you know, obviously corresponding with the colours. But yeah.
Right, well, that is the all the photos that we've got to show, but we have got some audio captures.
Can I just mention as well, mate, with the back of the churchyard at Ian, there is actually a girl that's supposedly seen, a youngish girl that's been seen running around, and the theory is that somebody might have disturbed her gravestone.
Right.
I see.
Yeah. I mean, that is. I've not personally seen it, but it might be interesting with you saying that you sensed it. That somebody sensed a little girl or something like that. It might be interesting. I know she has actually seen like darkish hair.
That's interesting.
It is very interesting.
I think it's worth another visit with you guys, definitely.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. We did actually channel a lady, didn't we, Glenn? And when we were sat on the bench.
Oh yes, we were getting dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah, we were getting dialogue. She had daughters, didn't she, and a son. So it's there could possibly be a connection there between what Glynn's just said and the lady that was very, very openly, talking with us.
Yeah.
Well, we sat on that bench,
just to add a little bit of history in this as well. Mom Paston's well, the vicar who actually sealed off Ian during the plague. His wife was the first person buried during the plague in the village. They were actually they made a decision that it should be his wife that was buried first, even though they had people died before. She should have priority, and that's why she is right at the front of the churchyard. And they named the well after the vicar.
Fascinating. Really, that is fascinating.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
No, I didn't, to be fair, either. That is fascinating.
So which is when we go back, I'll point to the grave out to you.
Yeah, please.
But also another fascinating little story is the gentleman that passed away outside the tea rooms at the bottom of the village. He owned the tea rooms. So he's been seen both outside, and he's also actually been seen helping out in the tea rooms. Somebody's actually took his order for us.
That's wonderful.
Take his order.
That's adorable, isn't it? He's still helping out even beyond the grave, bless his heart. Oh.
Yeah. So that might be worth looking at as well.
Oh, we'd be lovely to channel, we would, wouldn't he? Oh, it'd be amazing. Like to channel him, it'd be so sweet.
He still thinks he's at work, but
I said no sugars. I don't want any.
I'll have sweet. No milk.
Clopper,
I can't have cake, I'm on a diet. No cake, please.
I don't know.
I don't know if spiritual cake counts. Maybe I'd be able to have that.
Well, it's probably less calories.
Yeah, exactly. I'd be all right with that.
Yeah, me too.
Maybe
well, Glynn, I've got the audios that we said we'd play from our private investigation, if you'd like me to go through those.
Yeah, please do.
You'll have to bear with me because I'm having to do it over the microphone because the direct input's not working on the laptop. So what I've done is I went through the footage that you sent me, and I just found some, well, you'll hear it in a minute, all manner of things. So I just clicked those out, and I'm just going to play that evidence that wasn't in the room at the time. I mean, if you can set the scene before I play it, Glynn, if that's all right.
Yes, mate. Yeah. So basically, as we said last week, we got into this this house. This lady's girlfriend who'd been having real issues, things, and to the point where they couldn't actually live in that area anymore, and they insisted on going back home to the mum's house. Yeah, just so as they could even get away from it. And so they heard scratching noises, they heard groans, grunts, smells, awful smells, everything like that. I think, as we did say last week, we did sort of like send a local fella on his way, who was with a very strong local accent and language to match. So yeah, basically, it was absolutely stifling the way we went there. So we had got the window open slightly, but there was no cars, hardly any cars went past. And what we did was we tried to send this gentleman over and connect with whoever else was in this area, and basically try to reclaim the area, the house for them that was living in it. And we did that because they've said that nothing's happened since then. But obviously, during investigations, we ask questions. We don't always hear if we've got answers, which is why we listen to the footage afterwards. On this occasion, we got plenty of answers, and I think Glenn's got some footage to play for us, so it'd be interesting for me to listen to it again because I probably forgot about it, but also what Christina and Graeme think.
Absolutely.
And anybody else watching, message in with your comments what you think to it, because we certainly didn't hear the voices at the time.
That's right. So again, bear with the technology, but this is the first EVP. So here we go. Shall I play that again?
Yeah, was that the groan?
Yeah. and I'll play it again. It's very short. So that's one of them, and these noises were in between us guys speaking and channeling and doing the healing. So in the little gaps in the conversation, this is where these noises were heard. So I'll play the EVP2.
Also, I think before you play it, Glenn, I think it's important just to say as well that the dictaphone that was recording this was nowhere near where we were standing. It was in the corner near a wardrobe.
Oh, fab.
That's right, yeah.
So I just thought, so it wasn't actually capturing our voices, anything that we were doing, because we were stood further away from that. It was actually right next to the corner of the room where the wardrobe was. So I just thought let's just clarify that for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come on. Technology. Keep flipping around. Right, here we go. This is the second one. Like a breath.
Fast breath, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then we've got this one.
That's over the top of you, isn't it?
Yeah. Like a breath, another breath, like a gasp. And then again, this is a different one. Oh. It sounds like I had to really enhance that. It sounds
what does that sound like? Sounds like somebody's in pain, actually, don't it?
Yeah, it's like that. It's unusual. I had to really amplify that and EQ it to pick that out.
Would it be okay if I just say what I get from the three that you've just played?
Yeah, sure, yeah.
I think they're absolutely all connected. I think the first groan was almost like an exasperation, like, oh, crikey, you're going to send me over. I don't want to go.
Okay.
And then the second one sounded like a very fast breath. And then that one sounded a bit pain, didn't it? So I almost feel like this was probably in the process where you was channeling to send him over.
Yeah.
And there was a little bit of resistance there. And you physically, spiritually felt almost, he didn't want to leave. And then he was getting very fast in his breathing because he was getting anxious because he knew he was going to send him over. And then because of the resistance from going over, it almost pained him. So I feel like the three are connected directly to what you and Glynn were both doing in sending him over.
Yeah. Well, these were captured in several different places within the dialogue. But that would make sense from what you're saying, you know, with the anxiety and knowing the gentleman who was moving over state of mental health anyway, that would make perfect sense. Yeah.
He was anxious about it, definitely.
Let me see what this one is. EVP6. Play it again. It sounds like someone trying to say something under the breath.
Okay. Play that again.
Yeah, it is. It's okay. Okay.
Yeah.
It is. It's okay. It's like a whispered okay, isn't it?
And then Glynn's got a good backstory to this
as well, mate. With Christina saying there's like a little bit of pain there, just to say, as you're transitioning in it, could it actually not be fear?
Absolutely.
Yeah, afraid to move on.
Because he's been.
Sorry.
Yeah, the fella
second one, his breathing was fast, wasn't it? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll stop talking.
It's fine. He'd been there for years and years and years.
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden you're saying you're moving over now. And then could that not? Yeah, couldn't that be? Oh no! Like another passing, if you like.
Like you're moving over. Okay, I'll go on.
I suppose technically it's like another passing over, isn't it? In a different way.
Form.
He's used to sort of spiritually being in that building. So it is literally like a second passing, isn't it? Because it's passing him over to the light.
Absolutely.
And he didn't really want to.
No.
But it's been in limbo for such a long time.
Yeah.
He's got used to that.
He wouldn't have known the light. He wouldn't have known it because the state of mind he was in at the time. But this next one was very interesting. This is the voice, Glynn.
Oh, the voice.
Yeah. So if you want to just tell this before I play it for everyone.
Yeah. Basically, we'd been getting like knocks in the corner. Glenn was stood right near the door, and in the room, and I was stood to his left-hand side. The dictaphone was to my left, so it was in the corner where the wardrobe was. Now we were feeling drafts of energy. It went cold, which was very interesting because the room was absolutely roasting. It did go cold round us, and Glenn was saying, "Can you just come over here just to prove to us that you are still with us? Can you come stand near us?" Now, if this is the EVP that we're thinking, it's quite clearly a woman saying, "We've done it twice."
On that note,
sarcastic voice, isn't it? Yeah. You see what you think to it.
Absolutely, we've done it twice. Wow. That was clear as clear could be.
Yeah. Play it again.
Do it twice.
Oh wow!
Absolutely.
I mean, there was two females present in the room, but at the time, nobody was saying anything. And they didn't sound like that. That wasn't their voice, was it?
No.
It's a sturdy woman who just like power, and she's like saying, "Well, what more do you want? I've already done it twice. Don't want any more."
Yeah.
And she seems like quite. I don't know how to explain it.
I feel she was kind of just doing the typical woman thing, to be fair, not being directed towards women, because I'm one myself.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you say, you would, if someone said, "Can you do this? Can you do this?" And I think, I've done it twice.
Yeah.
I think it was like that sort of comment. I don't feel she was like awfully old either. I think she's quite young in her voice. She's quite young, isn't she? I wouldn't say sort of teenage, I'd say sort of 20s. But I could also envisage long dark hair as well.
Well, it was strange because we was moving a gentleman over, so we wasn't aware of this other female spirit in the room. So that's very interesting.
But it's as clear as day, that isn't it?
Yeah, it's so clear.
And the next EVP I'm going to play is this is when you first went, Glynn, just on your. I think you was there with Kelly, and you did just a check. So I'm just going to play this, but there's an EVP spike on the recorder, on the audio recording, and it almost you'll hear for yourself. I'll play it now.
Do you think about adventure spectacles at night time?
And when it could come, I won't keep him here.
The tiding's not called Biden.
Was it you who made me sound drunk? And flash the lights on the K2? If it was, come closer and do that again. It just came from one of the knockings.
I thought you were a big bad demon who could throw folk apart. Can't even talk to us. You haven't even got a voice.
I'll pause it there. But yeah, at the beginning there was like a glitch, and it was almost like an electrical sound. And if I remember rightly, when we went the second time, we had quite a few of those as well, like audio spikes.
Yeah.
And to say that there was nobody near the recording device, it was just stood independently. It was not near any electric sockets or anything like that. So for it to do that was interesting. And also, I managed to capture a few whistles during the investigation, but these are really, really subtle. So I'll just play the first one.
We're going to help you now. We're going to help you now.
It's like just over the top of my voice as I'm talking.
We're going to help you now.
And then the other one is.
Can't work out what it said.
No, it was a whistle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, from that one investigation, just sifting through the audio evidence, it was quite a lot.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing.
I think what I see, I notice we've done these EVPs and stuff like that, moving on. But if you don't mind, if I'd like to share what I think was the greatest EVP we've ever caught, and the most emotional one was when we went down Cornwall.
Okay.
The reason I mentioned this is because you say moving the gentleman over. We did an investigation at Jamaica Inn. A lot of people have heard of it.
Oh yeah.
And we're quite a good interesting night actually, because everybody was sat in the bar area, and we're walking downstairs. We thought, hey, who's come out of the room? Someone's come down, and we sat there waiting for about 5 minutes, and nobody actually walked in. Right. So that was interesting. But anyway, what we did in a particular area of the inn, which obviously for obvious reasons not mentioning where, we were communicating with a little boy. I'm not going to mention his name either. He was about 7 or 8, bless him, and he'd lost his parents when he was very young. Supposedly looked after by his uncle and his auntie, who was mistreated, and anyway he died, bless him. And we were finding all this out through communication, and we're trying spirit board as well. I've never seen anything like it in my life, because we've actually got, none of us had got his finger on this glass, and the glass was moving. I've never seen anything like it. And those with us said, would you like to move over? And we do like a movie, move the lad over. So we could feel the energy changing. We thought, well, this is powerful. Little did we realise on the dictaphone was, oh dear me, it's the most saddest thing I've ever heard, but the most incredible one. As we were like opening the ceremony, and we said, imagine a white light coming down, surrounding this area with love and light. And I will play this. I've got to find it somewhere. There's a little boy. It sounds about right. Just turned around and he says, "I can see my mummy."
Wow!
And so excited. And I still get emotional when I'm talking about it. And he says, "When you're ready now, go to your parents." We could feel coldness in the room. And we actually got a second, and it says, "Oh, thank you," and then that was it.
Oh,
Oh, bless.
That's the. I've got to find this somehow.
Definitely. I'd love to hear that.
It's as clear as that. It's like, I can see my mummy.
Oh,
Fantastic.
oh,
yeah.
Bless his soul.
Yeah. So I mean, you can analyse that all you like, but that's one of the clearest captures we've ever done. And it felt so peaceful afterwards. So, but I mean, I'm going to say thanks again to all of you for coming on tonight. I think everyone's contributed in a really good way, a positive way, and we've all, and also from the comments we've had from people, particularly Megan and Mrs. Facebook user, bless you. So, I think we've helped other people tonight as well, particularly on the travelling orb and the significance of the colours of the orbs. You're fascinated. What does quite a quick word? What do Graeme and Christina think about tonight's photographs and everything?
Oh, I just think it's wonderful how sometimes you can capture spirit without even realising you're doing so. And whether you feel the energies, and you generally do, don't you? But it's actually wonderful when you look back and think, actually, I didn't just feel them and sense them and hear them. There they are as well in some form. I just think it's amazing. And they obviously want to be captured as well. They obviously they want to be, otherwise they wouldn't. So it's quite humbling in a way, isn't it? That they're actually showing themselves in in whatever form they can, just so that we've got some proof to say, there is life after death. And so it's humbling, because time is infinite to them. It doesn't mean anything, does it? But the fact that they literally are there for us, and they come through what sounds like every single time. Probably in every investigation you've done in some form, there's some proof there. So it's almost like every single time they're like, we'll help you prove that we are around even after death. So it's beautiful, and it's wonderful, isn't it, that they're obviously also trying to awaken the world to the fact that there is life after death. They're helping us on our journey to prove it.
It's very humble, and it's like we're honoured that they've shown themselves to us and to you.
Absolutely.
They didn't have to, but they have.
No.
And it's
it's an honour, isn't it? It's an honour.
Yeah. We should take and not be granted that we're on this earth, and that, like you said, Christina, that there's life after death.
Yeah.
Well, I like the fact that they put their energy into doing it. I mean, if you can imagine from their perspective, it's very much like trying to push a balloon underwater. They have to do all that energy to get into our realm. And so for them to want to do that is just, like you say, is very humbling.
It's not only that, is it? Because obviously we have to sort of meet them halfway, and they have to come down to us and meet our energy. So obviously we've got very different energy to what they have. So they literally have to come into our aura and meet our energy as well. So it's almost like, in a way, it's more flattering, because it's almost like they choose us. To connect with us. So it's quite flattering, isn't it? And it makes you feel so humble and gracious that they're willing to do that.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, they didn't have to, but they have.
Yeah.
We've respected their ground, we've respected them, and they've shown themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic. So, thanks, guys. Thanks, Glenn, as always, for
no problem.
Really appreciate it. And just before we go, give ourselves a little plug here. We have now got a YouTube channel, so if you can't always catch this show on a Thursday, or you're watching the repeat on a Sunday, we have now got a YouTube channel. We're going to put all our investigations on, and we're all going to put all these chats on. So it is, if you search for Kindred Spirits Paranormal Investigation, on YouTube, then click the subscribe button, and it'd be nice if you give us a few likes as well and share. Then it's another way for us to interact with you. So we appreciate it. So again, thanks everybody for watching. We appreciate it, and take care. We'll see you next week.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.